Dear students, today we are starting unit second of dynamics, chapter 5th, Newton's law of motion. Making introduction, the whole structure of mechanics has been built on a few basic laws which have been developed from careful observation of certain physical phenomena and experimental evidence. In this chapter, we shall study the following laws, which are considered to be the foundations of mechanics: Newton's law of motion, Newtonian law of gravitational attraction. Before beginning this discussion, we define some definitions: mass, momentum, and force, which form the basic of these laws. Now, taking the definition of mass, momentum, and force. What is mass? Mass of a body is the quantity of matter it contains. There is units of mass, that is, in FPS system the unit of mass is pound, in CGS system the unit of mass is gram, and in MKS system, SI system, the unit of mass is kilogram. Now momentum of a body is the quantity of motion possessed by the body. The momentum of a body depends upon its mass and velocity and is measured by the product of mass and velocity of the body. Thus, momentum is equal to mass into velocity. The units of momentum are pound feet per second in FPS system, gram centimeter per second in CGS system, and kilogram meter per second in MKS system, that is SI system. Now, next definition for force. A force is an action, or we can say agent, a pull or push, which acting on a body changes or tends to change the state of rest or of uniform motion of the body in a straight line. Now, next one, that is impressed force. What is impressed force? The external force acting upon a body are called the impressed force. The mutual forces of action and reaction are called the internal forces. Now, taking Newton's laws of motion. First law of motion is statement is every body continues in its state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line unless it is compelled by impressed forces to change that state. According to this law, a force is necessary to change the state of rest of a body, the speed of a body moving in a straight line, and third is the direction of motion of the body without even changing its speed. The statement of first law of motion contains two parts, that is, as long as an external force acts, a body at rest will forever remains at rest. A body moving uniformly in a straight line will continue its motion in the same direction. Thus, according to first law, a body has no tendency of itself to change its state of rest or uniform motion as long as no external force acts upon it. It is also called the law of inertia. Now, second law of motion statement, the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the impressed force and takes place in the direction of the force. Now, to prove that force is equal to mass into acceleration, or P is equal to m cross F. To prove this, let an external force P act on a mass m moving with constant velocity v. Then, according to the second law of motion, we have force is proportional to the rate of change of momentum, that is, P is proportional to rate of change of momentum. Momentum is mass into velocity, or we can say P is equal to K times T by dt of mv, or is also equal to K into m into dv by dt, that is K into m into F, where K is a constant of proportionality whose value depends on units of P, M and F. Now, if the unit of force is so chosen that it produces unit acceleration while acting on a unit mass, that is, if P is equal to 1 when M is equal to 1 and F is equal to 1, then from first 1 is equal to K cross 1 cross 1 implies K equal to 1. Hence, first becomes P is equal to M into F, which is called the equation of motion. It may also be written as force is equal to P by M, making corollary states, if there is no force acting on a body, that is P equal to 0, then F equal to 0. Thus, in the absence of an external force, the body will continue to be at rest or move with uniform velocity in a straight line, which is the first law of motion. Hence, we can say that Newton's first law is a particular case of second law. Now, principle of physical independence of forces. The second part of Newton's second law of motion states that the change of momentum produced by a force takes place in the direction in which the force acts. This leads us to a principle which is usually called the principle of physical independence of forces. It states that each force acting on body produces an effect in its own direction irrespective of the pressure of other forces. Now, third law of motion statement is, to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. By action we mean the force exerted by one body on the another, and by reaction we mean the forces exerted by the second body on the first. These forces are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. Taking an example, when a box is placed on the table, the box presses the table with a force mg. With a force mg downwards, and as a reaction the table presses the box with a force r upwards, so that r is equal to mg. Both r and mg act along the common normal in the opposite directions. How do we work? Every time we place our step forward, we push the ground backward. By the third law of motion, the earth pushes us forward because the mass of the man is negligible as compared to the earth, and assuming that the ground is not smooth, there is a force of friction which resists slipping. We move forward due to this force of friction, and the motion of the earth backward is negligible. Now 5.7 absolute units of force. Number A, in FPS system the absolute unit of force is poundal. Thus 1 poundal is the amount of force which produces an acceleration of 1 feet per second square in a mass of 1 pound. Second, in CGS system the absolute unit of force is Dyne. It is the amount of force which produces an acceleration of 1 centimeter per second square in a mass of 1 gram. Number third, in MK system or SI system, the absolute unit of force is Newton, briefly written as capital N. It is the amount of force which produces an acceleration of 1 meter per second square in a mass of 1 kilogram. Now next one, weight of a body. Weight of a body is the force with which the body is attracted toward the center of the earth. If m is the mass of the body and g the acceleration due to gravity towards the center of the earth, therefore weight is equal to mass into acceleration, that is W is equal to m into g. Now 5.9 gravitational units of force. The units of force which depend upon the force of gravity are called the gravitational units of force. Number A, in FPS system the gravitational unit of force is pound weight, briefly written as lb weight, also called weight of 1 pound. It is the amount of force with which the earth attracts a mass of 1 pound. Number B, in CGS system the gravitational unit of force is gram weight, briefly written as gm dot wt dot. It is the amount of force with which the earth attracts a mass of 1 gram. Number third, in MKS system or SI system, the gravitational unit of force is kilogram weight, briefly written as kg dot wt dot. It is the amount of force with which the earth attracts a mass of 1 kilogram. Thus we have 1 pound weight or 1 lb weight is equal to g poundals is equal to 32 poundals. Number 2, 1 gram weight or 1 gram weight is equal to g dynes is equal to 981 dynes. Number third, 1 kilogram weight or 1 kg weight is equal to g newtons is equal to 9.8 newtons. Now taking solved examples. Example first, find the uniform force that will move 1 kg mass from rest through 1 meter in 1 second. Now for the solution, here mass is 1 kilogram, initial velocity is 0 and s is 1 meter and time is 1 second. If we suppose that let f be the acceleration, that is let f be the acceleration, then equation of motion is s is equal to ut plus 1 by 2 ft square. We have s is equal to distance is 1, initial velocity 0 and time is 1 second plus 1 by 2 f cross 1 square, that is 1 by 2 f, that is f is equal to 2 meter per second square. If p be the impressed force, then p is equal to m into f m is given to be 1 and f is 2, therefore P is 2 newtons. Now example number second, a body of mass 25 grams is acted upon by a constant force. It acquires a velocity of 2 centimeter per second in 5 seconds from rest. Find how large is the force acting. Now for the solution, here initial velocity is 0, final velocity is v equal to 2 centimeter per second and time is given to be 5 seconds. Now let f be the acceleration of the body using v is equal to u plus ft. V is 2, initial velocity is 0 here, f is time is 5 second and f is obtained as 2 by 5 centimeter per second square in magnitude. Let p be the force, then force is equal to mass into acceleration. Mass is 25 gram, 2 by 5, f is 2 by 5, this becomes 10 dynes. Now example third, a body of mass 150 kg is acted upon by a force of 5 Newton for 15 minutes. If the particle starts from rest, find its velocity at the end of this period. Now for the solution, m is given to be 150 kg and force is given as 5 Newton. Using force is equal to mass into acceleration, 5 is equal to 150 f, that is this implies f is equal to 1 by 30 meter per second square. Now here initial velocity is here initial velocity is u equal to 0, t equal to 15 minutes equal to 900 seconds. We have to find final velocity using v is equal to u plus ft, therefore this becomes v is equal to 30 meter per second. Now example number fourth, a force of 150 newtons acts on a body of mass 15 kg for 5 minutes and then ceases. क्या कहता है कि 150 न्यूटन्स फोर्स है दैट एक्ट्स ऑन ए बॉडी ऑफ मास 15 kg फॉर 5 मिनट्स एंड देन सीजेज, तब उसको छोड़ दिया जाता है. व्हाट इज़ द फोर्स रिक्वायर्ड टू ब्रिंग द बॉडी टू रेस्ट इन 2 minutes. Now for the solution, let f meter per second square be the acceleration produced by a force of 150 n acting on a body of mass 15 kg for 5 minutes. Then force is equal to acceleration is equal to force by mass is equal to 10 meter per second square. Now initial velocity is equal to u equal to 0, final velocity equal to v and t equal to 5 minutes, that is 300 seconds. Using v is equal to u plus ft. Now v is equal to initial velocity 0, f is 10 and time is 300 seconds. It means velocity becomes 3000 meter per second. Now let f dash be the retarding force applied at this instant to bring the body to rest in 2 minutes, that is 120 seconds. Using v is equal to u minus f dash t, we have velocity is 0, finally u is becomes now 3000 and f dash t is 120, f dash becomes 25 meter per second. required force is mass into retardation, that is 15 into 25 Newton, that is 375 Newton. Now taking example fifth, a mass m kg is acted by a constant force p kg weight under which in t seconds it moves a distance x meters and acquires a velocity of v meter per second. Show that x is equal to gt square p by 2m or equal to v square m by 2gp. Now for the solution, force p kg weight is equal to, we can say, pg newtons. Let f meter per second square be the acceleration, then pg is equal to mf. Therefore this implies f is equal to pg by m. Initial velocity is 0, final velocity v meter per second, and time is t second. Using s is equal to ut plus 1 by 2 ft square, we have x is equal to 0 into t plus 1 by 2 plus pg by m cross t square. This becomes gt square p by 2m. Again using v square is minus u square equal to 2fs, we have v square minus 0 is equal to 2 times pg m cross x. This implies x is equal to v square m by 2gp, and therefore from first and second x is equal to gt square p upon 2m is equal to v square m by 2gp. Now example number 6th, a bullet weighing 81 grams and moving at the rate of 200 centimeter per second is fired into a log of wood into which it penetrates 10 centimeter. If the bullet moving with the same velocity were fired into a similar piece of wood 5 centimeter thick, with what velocity would it emerge? Also find the force of resistance supporting it to be uniform. Solution is, here m is given to be 81 gram. Initial velocity u is equal to 200 centimeter per second. Final velocity v equal to 0 and s is equal to 10 centimeter. Let f be the acceleration, f centimeter per second square be the acceleration. Using v square minus u square equal to 2fs, we have putting values, we have f is equal to minus 2000 centimeter per second square. F having negative sign, therefore this is retardation equal to 2000 centimeter per second square. The negative sign of f implies that it is retardation. Now retarding force is equal to mass into acceleration. Mass is 81 and acceleration is 2000 times, this giving as 165.1 gram weight. Now in the second case, initial velocity 200 centimeter per second and s is 5 centimeter, retardation is 2000 centimeter square. Then using the formula v square is equal to u square minus 2fs, as f is negative, therefore velocity becomes equal to v is equal to 100 into under root centimeter square and also equal to 141.42 centimeter per second. Now taking example number 7th, a train whose mass is 20 tons moves at the rate of 60 meter per hour. After steam is shut off, it is brought to rest by brakes in 500 yards. Find the retarding force, assuming it to be uniform. Now, for the solution, initial velocity is 60 meter per hour. That is 60 into 22 by 15 is equal to 88 feet per second. Now u equal to 0, v equal to 30 meter per hour. This is equal to 30 into 22 by 15, that is equal to 44 feet per second. F is equal to 1 by 3 feet per second square. Using v is equal to u plus ft, we have t is becomes 132 second. Now example number 9th, an engine and a train weigh 200 metric tons and the engine can exert a push of 5 metric tons weight. Find the tension in the coupling if the engine alone weigh 60 metric tons, the resistance being equal to 10 kg per ton. 1 metric ton is equal to 1000 kilogram. Now for the solution, mass of the engine is equal to 60 metric tons, that is 60,000 kg. Mass of the train is 140 metric tons, equal to 140,000 kg. Force produced by the engine is equal to 5 metric tons weight, that is 5,000 kg weight, that is 5,000 gram Newton. Resistance is equal to 2000 into 10 kg weight equal to 2000 gram Newton. Mass is equal to mass of the whole train equal to 200 into 1000 kg. P is equal to effective force is equal to 5000 minus 2000 equal to 3000 kg weight equal to 3000 gram N. If F be the acceleration, then F equal to P by M equal to 0.147 meter per second square. Now mass of the train is equal to 140,000 kg. Let F be the effective force applied on the train, then F is equal to mass into acceleration, that is equal to 2.1 metric tons. Now resistance due to train is equal to 140 into 10 kg weight. This is equal to 1.4 metric tons weight, and therefore tension of the coupling is equal to 2.1 plus 1.4 equal to 3.5 metric tons weight. Now next example, a load W is to be raised by a rope from rest to rest through a height h, and the greater tension which the rope can safely bear is Nw. Show that the time in which the ascent can be made is square root of 2nh by gn minus 1. For the solution here, since the motion is from rest to rest, we use graphical method. The time of motion shall be least if the first part of motion is that of uniform acceleration and the second part with the uniform retardation. Let T be the tension in the rope in the first motion. Then T is equal to NWG. Let F be the acceleration in the upward direction, then effective force is equal to mass into acceleration. Therefore, upward tension minus weight is equal to W into F, or NWG minus WG equal to WF, or F is equal to N minus 1G, marking this as number 1. taking this graph when motion is from 0 to a, when a to b. Now when the rope becomes slack, the force of tension T ceases to act and the load moves freely under gravity with retardation g. Let OAB be the velocity time graph T1 and T2 be the times in the two motions and V be the maximum velocity. Then F is equal to V by T1 or N minus G is equal to V by T1 from first. Therefore, T1 is equal to V by N minus 1 G, marking this as number 2. Retardation is G is equal to V by T2. T2 is equal to V by G, marking this as number 3. Since H is the total distance moved, so H is the area of triangle OAB. Therefore, H is equal to V into T1 plus T2 by 2, implies V is equal to 2H by T1 plus T2, marking this as number 4. Now from second and third, T1 plus T2 is equal to, that is 2H by T1 plus T2G into N by N minus 1 from fourth. Therefore, T1 plus T2 square is equal to 2NH upon N minus 1G. Hence, T1 plus T2 is equal to square root of 2NH by N minus 1G. Hence, dear students, try exercise 5.1. If you have any problem, then discuss. Thank you.